At 6 minutes, I will raise red card. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. Individual evaluations should be between 2 and 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. I will be back to give the timer's report later during the meeting. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Geoffrey. Thank you, Geoffrey, for introducing your role. And next, we will have our table topics master, Anne Tasamba. When I asked her to share with me one of her dreams and what she's doing to get there, she said, I want to be a very influential and organized leader. And what she's done to date is take up leadership roles. Currently, she is the Vice President Education for Bukoto Toastmasters Club, and she's still looking for more leadership roles to take up, and also is willing to take up training to grow in this area. Anne, please let us know what your role this evening entails.
Thank you so much, Susan, our Toastmaster of the evening. I must start by apologizing. We've just gotten into a blackout, so my face is not clear. Hopefully the power will come back soon. Otherwise, I'm so excited to be taking on this role. To me, table topics is one of the most, if not the most exciting sessions, and not only exciting, but very important. In table topics, you're given a topic that you've not thought or known, and I'll expect you to take 1 to 2 minutes to answer, to give an answer to that topic. But why I think table topics are very important, we are trained to think on our feet. And I've not seen anything that can help you get confidence like that. If you can speak confidently when you've been just given a topic that you hadn't thought about, how much more if you've prepared your speech, then you're likely to be even more confident. So this is a session that trains each one of us to really gain that confidence that we are looking for in table topics. I will call upon anybody or even volunteers when my time comes. Otherwise, back to you. Thank you so much, table topic, Toastmaster of the evening, Madam Susan. Over to you.
Thank you, Anne. Thanks for persisting, even in the blackout. As Toastmasters, we glow in the dark. Thanks for taking up the role. And now our last role taker is our general evaluator. Our general evaluator is Dr. Derek Garcia. And when I asked him to share with me one of his dreams, he told me one of his dreams is to serve at the highest level of the Toastmaster organization. And what he's doing to achieve that is he's making meaningful connections, everlasting friendships, and he's being ready to serve each and everyone into contact with entails. Dr. Garcia, I think I lost a bit of connection there. Kindly tell us what your role this evening
Am
entails.
I still connected? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. We hear you loud and clear.
It is certainly a pleasure to be here at Kampala's Executive Toastmasters Club to serve as a general evaluator. As the role of general evaluator, I liken evaluation as the thread that binds a tapestry that is so awesome for all of us to grow. fellow Toastmasters and guests, as general evaluator, I am assisted by a team of qualified evaluators who will help me evaluate the prepared speeches. Our tag team would have already been identified. So my role is simple. It's just to pay close attention to everything that takes place in the meeting and to give a general report during the evaluation segment. I am so excited for what is about to take place in this meeting today. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of today.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Toastmasters and guests. A Toastmaster meeting has 3 sessions, and they're all exciting. Our first session are the prepared speeches. Then the second session will have the table topics, and the final session is the feedback session. It's at this point in time that we'll get to our prepared speeches. Our first speaker is Frank Kavuma. Frank Kavuma is going to be evaluated by Sarah Maritin. I hope I pronounced it right. Sarah, kindly let us know your expectation of Frank's speech.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, and a very good evening to all of us this evening. It is my pleasure this evening to evaluate Toastmaster Frank Kavuma. Frank Kavuma is on his presentation mastery path. He's attempting level 2, project 1 of this path. Frank Kavuma has asked me to look out for stage presentation, pacing, time management, and vocal variety. Toastmaster Kavuma is the secretary of Kampala Executives Club. Allow me to read his speech objectives. The objective of this project is for the member to identify his primary leadership styles and also to share some aspects of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Timer, please note, his speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of presenting to you Toastmaster Frank Kavuma to bring us his speech on the following title: The Mind of an Analytical Person. The Mind of an Analytical Person. Frank Kavuma, over to you.
The way we dress says a lot about us. It may seem artificial, but we normally make assumptions based on the way we are currently dressed. Those watching me may assume in my Masai bracket that maybe I'm heading for a traditional function. Or when you saw me in my well-fitting, sorry about that, someone was interrupting my call. Or you may see me in my t-shirts, short pants, and sandals. You will definitely direct me to the nearest beach. The reason why I am doing this is because the goal of communication, I deduced, was that during communication, it is not just conveying information, but rather the way your audience gets this information. And the challenge in communication is that we may all have different communication styles. As Paul Edris in his book said, that in his book, The Magic of Communication Styles understanding yourself and those around you, he says, and talks about different systems of us communicating to each other, their strengths, weaknesses, and the natural tendencies we use to identify and improve our communication. Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This week, I took a tour into the Toastmaster International website, wanting to know my communication style and leadership therein. I did this, and after inferentially deducting that the ultimate goal of communication helps us in our leadership. So to effectively communicate, as Anthony Robbins inserts, that we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world, and therefore use this understanding as a guide the way we communicate with each other. So Toastmaster International ranked me as an analytical communicator, and this never came as a surprise to me based on my educational and professional background. As a statistician and a monitoring and evaluation practitioner, this grounded me to being systematic, task-oriented, organized, self-reliant, purposeful, and naturally, I am motivated by certainty and rarely give my opinion unless asked for. And those that have interacted with me can attest to this. I am normally cautious in my space and like a structured, ordered, and functional environment, because I always need to feel secure about my position and others' expectation. I am often private with personal information and do not easily express my emotions. Analytical communicators are often characterized as chat-loving, data-driven people. They frequently focus on facts and projections, love citing figures and statistics, and tend to rely on data-driven decision-making. They deeply care about the quality of their output. These involve their products, their businesses, relationships, and services. As they work with their way in the tasks of their day, the small attention to details correlates directly to the quality of their product. They love standards. So you ask me, Frank, is this true of you? And I will reiterate that to a greater extent, I see myself in most of those statements. When an analytical person holds themselves to the high standards, it is natural for them to hold those other people with the same expectations in their social circles, whether it be to their colleagues, family members, spouse, and friends. They expect the best out of them because that is what they're expecting out of themselves. But unfortunately, not everyone has the same perception on the high standards that these people are already thinking about. This can lead to disappointment and bitterness to these analytical people. So in Toastmasters, I'm glad that we are here. We are work in progress to improve our leadership, knowing that we are analytical people. In conclusion, for someone to be recognized as a great person or a great leader like Churchill, John Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., the faster we are at identifying our communication styles and adapting to those of our listeners, the more effective are they going to be great leaders. So I therefore challenge each one of us to understand first our communication styles and explore how we can adopt to those that are following us. As Brian said, that leadership is a skill that we can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you are willing to work on it, you will rapidly improve every quality of your life. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Susan, you're muted.
My apologies. Thank you, Frank, for that great speech. We'll now move on to our second prepared speech, and it's going to be delivered by Patricia Opio. Patricia shared with me one of her dreams. It is to travel Africa in a van, visiting all the 54 countries, showcasing the creativity of each nation. And she hopes to tell the story of Africa through all the digital platforms. And what action has she taken to date? She's currently writing a proposal. She's interviewing creatives and telling stories through a blog. Patricia is going to be evaluated by Chanel Williams. Chanel, please tell us your expectations of Patricia's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Patricia will be speaking from the path Innovative Planning, and this is her icebreaker speech. So I expect her to dive right in, try and be as comfortable as possible, and tell us a bit about herself. The title of her speech is The Power of Stories, and I will hand it over to her to begin her speech.
I woke up in pain, crying. I was scared and alone. I was 3 years old, and I was struggling to understand what it meant to have sickle cell anemia. I remember my dad rushing into the room and asking me what's wrong, and all I could whisper was pain. He grabbed me, he carried me, and he took me out. It was dark at night. It was a beautiful night, but the pain. He began to tell me a story. I leaned in, I listened, and before I knew it, I had forgotten the pain. I fell asleep and woke up the next morning. Hello all, my name is Patricia Opio. I'm a multi-passionate creative purposepreneur, a designer, storyteller, and creative consultant. My mission is to inspire and empower creatives, both individual and brands, to embrace their stories, to unlock their creative potential, and design authentic and purpose-driven brands. I love color, as you can see, and I love creativity. Today, we shall be delving into the power of stories. I guess you're wondering, stories, power, but yes, stories have the power to reframe your past. Yes, my past has been one of pain and health issues, but it's also one of a love of a father. I remember my father believing in me, fighting for me, even against his own family, who thought that I would die soon. So it was a waste of money to send me to school. He kept on telling me stories of people who had gone through so much and yet had achieved so much. He asked me a question, Patricia, How different is your story from theirs? Stories also have the power to change the present. Right now, I'm here before you as Toastmasters because of a story. I had a friend who came about a month ago. She's like, Patricia, guess what? I'm like, what? I have joined Toastmasters. I'm like, what? She's like, yes. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on there? And she's like, you know what? I've met so many people. I'm learning so many new things. I thought about it and I thought, even me, I want that. And that is how I joined Toastmasters after years of dilly-dallying, just because of one story. Stories too can envision your future. I remember the stories of my father, and they changed my mindset. I thought of what I could be, what I could do, and what I could have. And I realized that no, I wasn't going down like that. I was here to make a difference. So please, grab on your sunglasses, because my future is bright. You see, your story is your legacy. And it's very hard to accept and own your story. I know this because that's my work. And it took me so long, so much fighting. But once I finally accepted it, I received freedom. It's in that freedom, actually, that I'm writing a book about my story. And right now, I'm not ashamed to share my story. In the process of writing my book, I have met creatives, the people I'm so passionate about. I have met a poet who has created poems in line with my book. I've met an illustrator who has created different paintings connected to my book. I've even met a designer who's creating merchandise for my book. Imagine, one story has plugged me into the throes of creativity. That is the power of stories. To reframe your past, change your present, and envision your future. Stories define us and shape us. Our ancestors back in the day used to gather everyone around the fireplace, probably drinking a little bit of alcohol here and there. But it was around that fireplace that they shared words of wisdom, parables that have passed from generation to generation. Okay, yes, we may not be able to do that kind of fireplace, but we can have a different kind of fireplace, a digital fireplace, using technology, just like what we're doing right now on Zoom, sharing our stories. Unfortunately, my father died 7 years ago, but his story, it lives on in me. So what is your story? Your story is your legacy. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Patricia. Well done. Toastmasters.
Thank you.
At every meeting, physical meetings, we would stand up and applaud the icebreakers. I've done that because it takes courage to take that first step. And let's remember that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Patricia, congratulations on taking the journey into the Toastmaster world.
Thank you.
Toastmasters and guests, we have a second icebreaker and it's going to be delivered by Rebecca Amoding. Rebecca shared with me that one of her dreams is to impact 20,000 university students through mentorship. And she's taken action. She's started mentoring moments at the university and has so far impacted 383 undergraduate students. Rebecca is going to be delivering her icebreaker and is going to be evaluated by Wilson Asimwe. Wilson, please let us know your expectations of Rebecca's speech.
Okay, thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the evening. Before I proceed, I would like to request Rebecca to share with me the title of her speech.
Birthing my purpose.
I beg your pardon?
Birthing my purpose.
Bouncing?
Birthing.
Birthing my purpose. All right.
Birthing my purpose, yes.
Thank you very much. This evening, I have the privilege of evaluating my fellow coach, Rebecca Rukidi Amoding, and she's going to deliver her icebreaker. The purpose of this icebreaker speech is for you to introduce yourself to the club and also learn the basic structure of a speech. And so, Patricia, Brother Rebecca, expect a great introduction, body, and a conclusion. And if possible, you can also employ other skills of great speakers like using gestures, eye contact, vocal variety, to mention but a few. The title of Patricia's speech is Birthing My Purpose. Birthing My Purpose, Patricia Rukidi.
Okay, thank you so much, Wilson. Do you know that the pen that you're holding in your hand right now has a reason as to why it was created? That phone in your hands, sometimes that you are glued onto the whole night, probably waiting for a phone call from a loved one or a WhatsApp message, has a reason as to why it was created. Purpose is when you know and understand what you are born to accomplish. That's according to Dr. Miles Monroe. Purpose is very unique. It lives on even long after you are gone. Purpose is a solution powerhouse. You get to identify the problems around you, and you believe that you have the solutions that take to get that problem out of the way. In my privileged position as a human resource professional and an organization development specialist, I have had a chance to interact with very many people from different walks of life, ranging from fresh graduates, mid-career recruits, as well as executive level. I would like to take you through my dream. My desire was to have done law at Makerere University when I finished my senior 6. But unfortunately, I missed it out by a few points, less than 1 point. And that really broke my heart. So my choice of course then was education. So I went into university, did education, and when I came out, I had a chance to teach. I taught in a specific school, and in that school, for the entire year that I taught, I never got paid a penny. So I can feel the pain of every teacher. You serve, but nobody recognizes your input. At that point, I felt I needed to make a turning point in my life. So I decided to go and pursue a postgraduate as a human resource professional. So like I had told you that I interact with people from different walks of life. First, I connect with a candidate when I see a CV. And it is exciting because sometimes it's a copy and paste, sometimes it is real. So you do the long listing, then short listing, then thereafter you zero down on candidates to be invited for interviews. And yes, once they're invited for the interviews, it's a moment of truth. And especially for me, who is looking out for great talents. So what do I do? With the excitement and connection, you sieve out the people through that panel. But here is where my frustration has been. Sometimes candidates have walked into this space totally unprepared. they either do not even know the organization that they want to get into bed with. Just imagine getting into a relationship with someone, you want to get into bed, you even don't know them. Sometimes I've even caught myself sitting on the other side of the panel and even telling this candidate what to do in the interview, because I would like them to bring out the best of them at such a time. Well, it's funny that I choose to do that sometimes. And it is with this background that I took it upon myself to change this story. And what did I decide to do? So one of the things that I am currently doing is to equip and release better leaders into the marketplace, which is my purpose. And I'm doing this with university students from Makerere University, Uganda Christian University, and a few from Chambogo University. And I'm really excited to be living my purpose at such a time as this. I would like to introduce you to just 3 people that have intentionally done life with. And one of them is Christine. Christine started making liquid soap because she felt she needed to unlock and unleash her potential. And yet she's still a student at campus. So alongside that, she was able to coach and train others and earn a living. Emmanuel, who has also started an organization. She is so far hiring up to 3 people. And then Martin, who also started making liquid soap, sanitizers, went into WHO platform to pick out the chemicals that are required for making this. I am too excited that their lives being transformed there. There are people that are walking in their purpose right now. I've had a chance to multiply myself. So in this mentorship journey, what does this mean? What it means that we equip these students to, in civil writing, on a discovery journey, starting to live purposefully, as well as being people of value, because you're simply beyond just the grades, but also the values are very critical, especially in the marketplace, but also in family life. So that is what I'm doing to multiply myself. Now, mentorship moments also birthed career moments. So I have a book, Career Moments, a quick guide in guiding you in as far as sharing your getting expectations in the marketplace as far as career is concerned. And I am excited that it is transforming lives. What are you doing to live your purpose? Have you started walking your purpose? Join me in this journey. Thank you.
Toastmasters and guests. A standing ovation for all our icebreakers. Well done, Rebecca, for taking your first step. Well done.
Thank you.
At this moment, I will ask the Sergeant at Arms to launch the polls and we vote for the best speaker. Sergeant at Arms. Okay, as we wait for the polls to come up, remember our theme this evening is dream it, wish it, do it. So you have this dream and it stays in your mind. Some of our dreams float away and some linger on, because remember, some of these dreams are to move you from one place to another place, to a better place, to a greater place that you envision you want to be. And some of those dreams, you wish, like they say, you might wish upon a star. Should it just stop at wishing? Some of us wish for things. There are dreams and say, I wish I had that. I wish my dream came true. Toastmasters and guests, there are times when you need or when you have to speak your dream out loud. This is a quote by Kelly Corrigan. When you speak it out loud, you're speaking to someone. You will be accountable to that person. And at times it gets, in most cases, 98%, it gets you moving. When you speak it out loud, what happens? I learned through a group of mentors that one should have a vision board. When you dream about something and you wish it, put it on a vision board and look at it every time. I am telling you, you will look for actions to achieve that dream. One of my other dreams is to own a coffee shop with a library of books for children and adults. It is on my vision board and I look at it. I have a name. It is something I shared with my late mom. And what action did I take? I started buying books. As I speak today, I own 980 books. There might not be many to some collectors, but for me, it's the world and I am getting there. As you wish for your dreams to come true, look at someone who inspires you. Look at someone to coach you and walk you on this journey. We will discuss more as we get along. Now it's time for another exciting session, the table topics. Antasamba, take us away.
Susan, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Yes, please.
The ACA is not able to launch the polls.
Okay.
I'll request the Toastmasters to send me their votes, their secret votes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, our acting president, Wilson. Let's send our votes to Wilson's private inbox. Antasamba, this is your time.
Once again, thank you so much, Susan, our Toastmaster of the evening. I'm back and excited for, like I said, I believe this is the most exciting session. Why? It gives everyone a chance. One who didn't even get a chance to speak earlier to say something and share what they have. This evening, our theme is dream it, wish it, and do something about it, something like that. So I'd wish to go along that theme. I'll call upon, I sent for volunteers in the chat. Unfortunately, I didn't get any. So I'll pick on anybody who is awesome to me, and hopefully you'll be one of them so you can get a chance to practice impromptu speaking. Here we go. Our first question, I would love it to go to Toastmaster Latoya Rankine. Toastmaster Latoya Rankine, are you in the room?
Hi, hello. Yes, I am here. Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Yes, I'm going to read the question. Toastmaster Latoya, you can only achieve your dreams when you start believing in yourself. You can only achieve your dreams when you start believing in yourself. Over to you, take it away, Toastmaster Latoya.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I find this saying to be absolutely true. One reason being that it starts in your head, it starts in your mind. Once you get it going in a good place or in a good space and you're in rhythm, you're able to follow through with the rest of your body or whatever is to come next. Thank you.
Thank you for that attempt, Toastmaster Latoya. It begins in your mind and it goes to the rest of your body. Thank you so much. Yes, our next question, and I hope everybody is ready because it can be any of you, whoever is awesome to me tonight. Okay, could we have Jackie Achola? Jackie Achola, are you in the room?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful. This is your question. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Over to you, Jackie.
The future can be beautiful. The future can be bleak. The future could portend ugliness. How then do we ensure that the future that we choose is one that is going to be beautiful? The future follows dreams. Are your dreams beautiful? Do your dreams embrace possibilities and optimism? Do your dreams see beyond your current circumstances to what could be possible? Are your dreams limited by what you see today? Are your dreams bigger than yourself? You look up and see the stars and see yourself touching the stars at that future day. Dream big, dream beautifully, embrace the future, own this future, grasp this beautiful future. But it's only possible when your dreams are beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for those insights. Your future can be good or your future can be bad. It's up to how you dream. Are your dreams going beyond your current circumstances? Those were beautiful insights. Thank you so much, Jackie. And now, who is the next person that appears attractive? An awesome person is Andrew. Andrew, are you in the house to say something about our theme?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well, Andrew.
Okay, what is the topic again?
The topic is, if you want to achieve your dream, you have to dream it. If you want to achieve your dream, you have to dream it. Over to you, Andrew.
Okay, dreams come to everybody. People dream, people don't dream. Dreams are something we look forward to. Dreams are something that some of us think we can achieve. Dreams are something that some of us are really not having the strength we need to actually achieve. The past is actually a determinant of what you're looking forward to in the future. The present is a determinant of what you will dream tomorrow. If you see a bright future for yourself, you definitely have to dream big. You're not seeing any future at all. You do your best to think and have a much bigger picture in your mind. Dreams will definitely determine if a person will take the left side or the right side. Dreams a person has will definitely determine the kind of person they will be. Dreams are definitely the kind of thing that will give a person the ambition or the pride or even the confidence to take their dream to the very next step. Am I dreaming? I definitely am. Are you dreaming? You better be. Without a dream, there definitely isn't any future. Are you dreaming alone? You should. It is your private life. Are you dreaming with family? Even better. You can take them to a much higher level. Are you dreaming with a community? Are you dreaming with a country? Are you being patriotic? Are you being Pan-Africanist? Do your best with how you see your future. Your dreams will definitely determine what happens tomorrow without worrying about what happened yesterday, making sure that you're comfortable today. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Andrew. You can dream alone, but it's better to dream with your family. It's even much better to dream with the community. You can be Pan-African. Wow. I thought that was quite something, widening our dreams. Some of us have been dreaming alone, but today I've learned that I can dream with others and make my dream even better. Thank you once again, Andrew. And now I would like to give a guest a chance. We've been having Toastmasters, but I would like to give our guest, Fiona Semau. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If not, apologies. Fiona, our guest, can you please give it a go? Are you in the house? Is Fiona in the house? All right. Oh, sorry, Fiona cannot open her mic. Sorry about that. Maybe we shall come back to you later. Let's give this to another person. Caroline, a go. Caroline, are you in the house to attempt the next question? It's all about dreaming. At least you have a hint. Okay. We don't seem to be having Caroline in the house. Miriam of 5 Speak Road Toastmasters Club. Miriam, are you in the house?
Yes, please.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is your question. The time will never be just right. Start where you are and work with whatever you have to achieve your dreams. The time will never be just right. Start where you are, work with whatever you have to achieve your dreams. Over to you, Miriam.
Thank you. Dreams can be big, and dreams can also be small. But it depends on how much time you have to put in this dream. I have dreamt myself of being a good communicator, ready to speak impromptu speeches. And my time has actually begun now. Having done an icebreaker because I belong to a new club, but I believe my dream of speaking perfectly well and having fluency in English has begun. I'm not afraid of taking my first step. The journey, any journey begins now. The journey of 1,000 steps begins now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Miriam. The journey of 1,000 steps begins with one step. It begins now. So thank you. You've started on your journey as a Toastmasters. I want to congratulate you. You've done your icebreaker. And please just keep on taking the steps and you get where you want to be. Timer, I don't know whether at least I have time for 1 or 2 more people. I'd like to give another guest a chance. Okay. Our guest, Bitira Linda Samali. Are you ready to take up this chance?
Yes, I can try.
Thank you. Linda, to achieve your dreams, work is required. Suffering is only optional. To achieve your dreams, work is required. Suffering is only optional. Over to you, Vitira Linda.
Okay, thank you. Effort is required for what you need to achieve, where you need to be, and that is what we call sacrifice. Suffering is optional only when you don't wish to advance, only when you don't wish to grow. But you have to take up the reins and walk in the rain, walk in the sunshine to achieve your dreams, because
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know whether she had finished, but we seem to have lost her. Thank you, Linda, for that good attempt. Timer, do we still have some time for one or two more?
nothing comes on a silver plate. Really worked hard for. So we need alone, because from then we are.
All right. Apologies, I seem to have interrupted Linda. But I imagine that you're now done. I really apologize because I thought I'd lost you. But thank you so much.
Yes, I had finished. I had finished.
Okay, thank you so much for that attempt. I'm sorry I missed some of your submission, but I'm sure the other members must have gotten what you were saying. Timer, do I still have time for one or two more questions?
Well, Madam Table Topics, I think we can have just one.
Okay, thank you. We can keep dreaming. Can I have a volunteer? Somebody that wants to say something, share something about your dream. I can even allow you to set your own question. But let's first get a volunteer. Okay, if there's no volunteer, again, I'll look for some person. Monica Ajana, are you on the call?
Yes, I am on.
Yes, nice to see you, Monica. This is a good one for you. Nothing will ever get in the way of achieving your dreams. Monica, nothing will ever get in the way of achieving your dreams. Over to you, Monica.
Oh, thank you, Anne. During the week, I read something that said, you'll only get castigated whenever you're in the right direction. It got me reflecting upon my ambitions and dreams. Indeed, I have great dreams. I have big ambitions. And I have mastered that. I have to only share them with people who equally share the same dreams. If you shared your dream with somebody that sets their goals very low, I can assure you that there will be everything to get in the way of achieving your dreams. So to me, it's just about the strategy beyond believing in my own self, but developing a strategy to ensure that I achieve my dreams and even beyond. because if you don't take note of the tiny little things that you could take for granted, your dreams could easily die along the way. So you need a great mentor to keep you focused, in addition to believing in your inner self, so that nothing should ever get in your way of achieving your dreams. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Monica, for those insights. One of the strategies I've learned is I should not share my dreams with people who don't seem to share the same dreams with me, lest they get in my way. Thank you for sharing those strategies. And now we've come to the end of this most exciting session. Please keep asking yourself more and more questions about dreams. Keep dreaming and let's go achieve our dreams. Over to you now, Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Let's go out. Dream it, wish it, do it. Let's dream big. Let's dream bold. We now get into another session. This one is going to test our listening skill. As a Toastmaster, as a communicator, as a leader, you need to have good listening skills, and Toastmasters helps us on this skill. I'll now call on Grace Naluyikira to take us through the next session, that is the Hackmaster session. But before Grace comes on, just 1 minute, I see Wilson's hand up. Your hand is raised.
Yes, Madam President, I wanted to request members who have listened to these speeches, table topic speeches, to send me their secret votes because our SAA is not able to launch the polls. And I think Toastmaster Anta Samba can remind us about the people who spoke. I remember we had Jackie Ochola, we had Andrew Otieno, we had Bira, Patricia Linda, we had Monica Agena. So Anne, can you please confirm the people who spoke?
Yes, we had Toastmaster Latoya Rankine. We had Miriam from 5 Speak Road. We had Jackie Ochola, sorry. We had Bitira Linda Samali. We had Andrew. We had Monica Agena. I can type them in the chat.
Thanks, Anne. That will be helpful. Then the votes will be sent to Wilson's inbox. Thanks for that reminder, Wilson. We'll now get into the Hackmaster session. Grace, kindly take the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Grace Naluyirika. I'm a member of the Kampala Toastmasters Club, and I'm happy to be your Hackmaster this evening. My apologies, I missed the first session, I missed the first speaker, but at least I got in time for the second and the third speaker. So my role as a Hackmaster is basically to listen into the different speeches, the prepared speeches, and then ask the audience a few questions from what the members share. So I believe we're all very attentive, and the questions are as follows. Number 1, Patricia, our second speaker, is working on a very special project. Who knows what this project is? Hands up. Anyone? Does anyone remember the special project that Patricia is working on?
You can also use the chat. I will watch the chat. So if you can't raise your hand, you can use the chat option.
Raise your hand, please.
Okay. Anyone? Can Patricia assist us, maybe? Patricia, are you there? Are you still on call?
Yes, I am.
Patricia, you're working on a very special project that you're passionate about. Can you remind the members what this project is?
It's traveling the 54 countries of Africa in a van.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Question number 2. Patricia is writing a Africa, and she's working with a few experts. There are 3, she mentioned 3 of them, one being a poet, another being an illustrator, and the third one being X. Who of us remembers who this third expert is? Anyone? Patricia is working with 3 different experts on her book project, one being a poet, the second being an illustrator, and the third being a dash. Does anyone remember who the third expert is? Hey.
There's an answer in the chat.
Or a designer, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca. Number 3, question number 3. Patricia said we can build a fireplace even with these unprecedented times that we are in. Patricia mentioned that we can build a particular fireplace, a special kind of fireplace, even during these unprecedented times that we are in. Does anyone remember the kind of fireplace that we are able to build? Just a hint, we can network on this particular fireplace. We can build businesses, we can have meetings, we can make new friends. Does anyone remember what this fireplace is?
Is it a virtual fireplace?
Virtual fireplace.
You're close. Oh, it's not Tinder. You mentioned a digital fireplace. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. That was this close. Question number 4. Rebecca, our third speaker, had a dream from high school, and she wanted to be a particular profession when she eventually got into the working field. Who remembers what Rebecca was so passionate about and what she really wanted to be when she grew up? Yes, sir, that's right. She wanted to be a lawyer. Thank you. And lastly, Rebecca was admitted into University X. Rebecca was admitted into University X. Do we remember what university Rebecca got admitted into? Anyone?
Was it Makerere?
Yeah, it was Makerere. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Grace. To our Toastmasters and guests, that is one of the critical skills we need to hone. If we're going to do leadership, we're going to be effective communicators. You can only communicate properly if you actually listen to people or what they tell you. Thanks, Grace. At this point in time, we get into another exciting session, our feedback session. And Bill Gates said, we all need people who will give us feedback. That is how we improve. Even as we go on this journey, dream it, wish it, do it, you'll get feedback. You need it to improve. And the person who's going to help us run this session is Dr. Garcia. Dr. Garcia, I now hand the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Today, I will give you the backstory behind D.R. Garcia at the end of the meeting. So let us begin the session. I want to say that we've had some dynamic pieces shared so far. And as the evaluation session is the thread that pulls this tapestry together so that we can all marvel at the ISOM of this meeting today, we'll call on our first evaluator to evaluate our first prepared speaker, Toastmaster Sarah.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Before I give my report on evaluation, I would like to apologize. Earlier on, we had a mix-up with my speaker, whereby I read his objectives falsely. So allow me to read his objectives once again. That the purpose of this project was for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary styles. Also, the purpose of this speech was for the member to share the impact of his style on others. Toastmaster Frank, congratulations on attempting your level 1, project 1 this evening. I have to begin by congratulating you for starting by having a prop, which was the shawl, to give us an image of dressing, how it can affect how people would judge you or think about you. I thought that was an awesome gesture. Toastmaster Frank, I love the way you went into base camp and actually went through your project. You therefore wrote your speech and actually discussed it and elucidated it at some point, how the system had analyzed you from the questionnaire that you had filled in base camp. At some point, you stopped and asked. You asked yourself, or if you are asked, Frank, do you see this in yourself? I loved that because you explained to us what an analytical communicator is, and then you brought it to yourself. I thought that was really great. I like the way you used quotes. For example, when you said leadership is like riding a bicycle. I also love the way you structured your speech, which had an opening, which is the introduction, body, and a good summary. I thought that was really great. At the end, I loved your summary, where you refer to great leaders like Churchill, John Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and you gave a call for action by saying that we need to identify our communication styles and adapt styles that would affect others, how your communication style is going to have an impact on others. And I thought that was really great. The areas I would like you, Toastmaster Frank, to work on, one of them that you had asked me to look at is your stage presence. I would like to encourage you to make good use of your stage. We cannot say because we are on Zoom, we are not able to stage our show. Ensure that you prepare before you start your speech. Ensure that you prepare, you test your camera, you test your stage to ensure that we don't lose you. You were just on only 2 points, moving back and forth. You had the whole of your stage to use and to give us a good presentation. I thought your eye contact was a little bit off. Whenever you are on Zoom or a virtual meeting, let your camera be on the same level as your eyes to ensure that you maintain that eye contact, just like what I have done with my camera this evening. Your vocal variety, I realized that you just went on a flat place, a flat surface, Time management, just like the way I'm about to also lose on my time management, I thought that your speech was a bit rushed as you went towards the end, and you ended up using 7 minutes and 26 seconds. So the conclusion was very rushy. I would like to encourage you that when you're writing your speech, please count the words, because it is said that an average speaker speaks 100 words per minute. So make sure that you count your words. Do I think you met your objectives? I feel you met your objective halfway by identifying your communication style and elucidating it to us. But you did not really bring out how it would affect other people. Toastmaster Frank, I would encourage you to probably retake this project. And I would like to encourage you to work with a mentor. You may consider to retake the speech. Kindly work with your mentor to improve. Otherwise, thank you for your speech, and it was a pleasure to give your feedback. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I got so caught up in your thorough evaluation, I forgot that I was the general evaluator for a second there. So thank you so very much. We'll now have the evaluation of our second prepared speaker, which will be done by Toastmaster Chanel.
Thank you, Mr. GE. Toastmaster Opio. It was truly a work of art, and you reminded us that storytelling is an art. It seemed as though you are a natural storyteller, and you painted a great picture for us with numerous stories about your father, stories about your coming to Toastmasters, story about your personal endeavors, and reminding us that in the past, our ancestors told stories, and that we should continue that tradition. You started off your speech on a somber tone, talking about your experience with sickle cell anemia, which is not what I expected, but at times artists start off painting their canvas black. And through that, you told us about your dad and how he believed in you, despite people not believing in you and despite people sort of wanting to disown you. And I saw moments of color pop up as you spoke about your dad, as you used great vocal variety to describe his stories.
Please don't go.
I think we've lost Toastmaster Chanel for a moment.
Maybe her network, she's
All right.
still open.
Yeah. Okay, if she's gone, I'll move to the evaluation of our third speaker, which will be done by Wilson. And then if Chanel comes back, I'll allow her to conclude the evaluation of Patricia. Wilson.
Thank you very much, Jenny Evaluator, Dr. Garcia. I had the privilege to evaluate Rebecca Rukidi Amoding. And to be frank, I enjoyed that speech. First of all, I like the topic of the speech, Birthing My Purpose. And this title was in line with all the messages that she shared throughout the speech. The purpose of this speech was for Rebecca to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of her speech. And I want to confirm that she performed well. I like the structure of this speech because she kicked off by asking us a question. Do you know that the pen you're holding in your hands was made for a purpose? I know that I was hooked And I'm sure many people were hooked right away. That made us follow Rebecca throughout her speech. I now know that Rebecca wanted to do law at university, but ended up doing education. And she worked for an entire year without a penny. She did a postgraduate on human resource management. And she's now a human resource professional. She's nurturing a lot of young people as well as top executives. She took upon herself to start a program at 2 universities, and she's nurturing a lot of young people there. I like the way Rebecca shared the names of the people that she has supported: Christine, Emmanuel, and Martin. That made her authentic, because we confirmed that she's really doing this work. It's not just a speech, but she's doing the work that she's talked about. She has a book on career moments, and I can't wait to buy that book. She ended her speech by asking a question: what are you doing to live your purpose? Join me on this journey. I thought that Rebecca hooked us again. She left off while we still wanted to listen to her. Some areas for improvement for Patricia, for Rebecca. First is the facial expression. She mentioned she was excited around 4 times in her speech, and the face wasn't showing us that excitement. I want to challenge you, Rebecca, to always show that excitement when you're excited. When you worked without a penny for 1 year, you should have showed us that face of a disappointed person. I also thought that your voice was flat. You have a strong voice, but it was flat. Try to change your voice when you're emphasizing points so that we are able to know that this is a strong point. We need to take it into consideration as people who are listening to you. Then the positioning of your camera. We're seeing you right from your chest upwards. We didn't see your hand gestures, yet those are very important for great speakers. Otherwise, this was a great speech. You would think it wasn't an icebreaker. I have no doubt that Rebecca is going to be a great speaker, and I wish her all the best. Over to you, Jennifer Lewitt.
Thank you very much, Wilson, for that thorough evaluation of Rebecca. Chanel, you will allow you to pick back up where you left off with your evaluation of Patricia.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I got knocked off the internet. But I was saying you started, I'll just pick up from where I left off. You started your speech on a somber tone, and that's okay because sometimes artists start off with painting their canvas in a dark tone. But then there were pops of color as you spoke about your dad believing in you, the stories that your dad would tell you to inspire you, that despite all odds, people can succeed. And the pops of color that you shared through your experience speaking with a Toastmaster, your experience now working on a very big project. And so I encourage you to continue to add that color to your speech, continue to use vocal variety as you impersonate your friend, your father, continue to add that to your speech. In addition to that, I would say that there were several speeches in this one speech. There were moments when you talked about your dad, and I could see that being a speech unto itself. There was the moment when you spoke about your interaction with the Toastmaster, and I could see that being a speech on how you decided to join Toastmasters and take this first step. And so what I would encourage you to do is focus in on one of the powerful stories that you told in this speech and flesh that out and have that be a story unto itself. And other than that, I would encourage you to improve on your eye contact. There were moments when I saw you looking down or to the side, and I would encourage you to continue to look into your camera lens to remain engaged with your audience. But other than those 2 points, I believe this was a great speech, a great icebreaker speech, and I look forward to seeing you at the virtual lectern again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chanel. Now we'll call on our tag team to give their report, and we'll start with our grammarian.
Hi, Mr. Derek, thank you. Mr. GE, Toastmaster Derek Garcia. It's nice to meet you now from WhatsApp to this media. Forgive me for I won't be able to use my video, but I hope this is going to be effective enough. It's going to be an awesome thing to look at. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's a pleasure listening to your speeches, from table topics to the hack, master speaking, to the prepared speeches. And I do find a few excellent use of the grammar. I would like to share, for example, I've had new words today. I don't know what the chambogo is. It's a local term. Maybe the TMOD will help me understand what chambogo is. I don't know what chambogo is. Meanwhile, I would like to point out some bad use of the grammar. Well, before we get to that, there was some bad use of the grammar by Frank. There were words I didn't get a chance to understand or get to hear well during his speech. But I wouldn't like to single Frank alone. Well, I don't want to concentrate on the bad. But definitely we say that feedback is breakfast for champions. But here's the thing, Toastmasters. Let's forget about what has happened and get back to sorry, my network is acting up. Meanwhile, I'm happy to see that fellow Toastmasters are eager to use the word of the day. They were eager to use the word of the day. The word of the day today was awesome. Let me share with you that word. Awesome. It's on the chat section. Now, Toastmasters today didn't use the word that effectively. They got caught up with the speeches. Chanel, I didn't hear you use the word of the day. Saramari team, I didn't hear you use the word of the day. TMOD, you use the word of the day rarely. Mr. Derek Garcia used the word of the day twice. And Tesamba, she was the queen of using the word of the day. Used it more than 6 times. Susan Kavuma once, our timer Joyfrey Ayabare used it once. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that ends my grammarian report, and I hand it over back to the general evaluator. Thank you, Mr. Derek.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grammarian. And even though we could not see your video, you painted a very vivid and awesome portrayal of your grammarian's role with all that excitement and energy in your voice. So I thank you very much. Our Amkana was not able to join us today, but I did take note of a few R's and Ms and pause fillers. And so just to give that report, we had Andrew, who had 3 Ms, 2 R's, and a double clutch We had Linda, who had 1 Monica 1 so. And that ends my counters report. I'll now call on our timer to give his report of the speeches today. Geoffrey?
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator. I am going to give my timers report according to what I timed there. Most of us actually used our time very well. And I can say that the speakers were quite awesome and they were giving their speeches. I am going to share the screen. Is it being viewed? able to see the screen of the timers report?
Yes, we can see. Yes, we can see.
All right. The first speaker was Frank Kavuma. Frank Kavuma had 7 minutes, was allocated 7 minutes according to the speech he was giving. And he used 7 minutes and 26 seconds. He exceeded his time by 26 minutes. The second speaker was Patricia Opio. Patricia Opio, allocation was 6 minutes, and she was quite in time. The last speaker was Rebecca Amoding Rukidi, who was also giving an icebreaker, and she used 6 minutes and 16 seconds, and that was quite in time. I also evaluated the table topics. The table topics were quite interesting, and the first table topics was Latoya Martine, whose time was supposed to be 2 minutes, but she only was able to use 39 seconds. And I think she could have used quite a bit more of that. Then we had Jackie Ochola. Jackie Ochola's allocated time was 2 minutes, and she used 1 minute and 9 seconds. She was quite in time. Then we had Andrew. Andrew used 1 minute and 54 seconds. He nailed it. Nailed it within time. Then we had Miriam. Miriam used 1 minute and 2 seconds. Then we had Bitira Linda Samali. Unfortunately, her call was interrupted. But by the time she ended, she had used 1 minute and 39 seconds. Then we had also Monica Agena. Monica Agena nailed it with 1 minute and 53 seconds. Now, let's look at the evaluators. All the evaluators went over time. Well, Wilson used 4 minutes. Okay. Now, Sarah Maritim used 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And Chanel Williams had 2 segments of her evaluation. The first segment, she had used 1 minute and 53 seconds, and got lost, and then used 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Then Wilson used 3 minutes and 57 seconds. 3 minutes and 57 seconds. So basically, all the evaluators used more time than was allocated. Back to you, evaluator.
Thank you very much for that thorough timers report, Mr. Timer. It's my great pleasure to give my evaluation as the general evaluator of the entire meeting. I would like to say that I thought that the meeting started out well. I love the fact that our presiding officer was filling in for the president, welcomed all of the members, especially the newer members, and gave some background story. And I also welcomed the current members and invited guests to give some remarks or to introduce themselves, which is warm and inviting. And we always want to have that as a Toastmasters Club. I felt that Wilson, you could have brought in the theme of the meeting just a little bit to start to build that excitement towards our Toastmaster of the day taking control. We also had a bit of a letdown. Trying to obtain a motion to accept the minutes. I felt that that process pulled some of the air out of our tire, causing us to get off to our journey off to a little bumpy start. But once you would have turned over to our Toastmaster of the day, she just picked it up and we started to move. I want to give one recommendation that we look at having 1 or 2 dedicated Zoom masters or tech coordinators to manage the platform. We had an instance where a mic was open for an extended period of time, causing it hard to hear the Toastmaster of the day as she gave her introduction, and the mic opened up along the way elsewhere as well, which took a few seconds away from our speaker. The reason why having the tech coordinator or Zoom master in place, whether it's your sergeant at arms or another member of the club, is so that when moments like these happen, you could quickly deal with them so it does not affect the overall quality of the meeting. My Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Susan. Susan, I thoroughly loved and enjoyed your opening and your background story to choosing the theme of today. It was riveting. It got me even more excited about what was about to come. And I thought you did a splendid job introducing each segment, each participant on the program. You excelled at that. And before I go on, I must state that when you are about to serve a meal, it doesn't begin with the finished product. It begins with choosing the ingredients that will go into the finished product. And I thought that all of the participants that were chosen for this meeting, starting from our Toastmaster of the day and everyone else who was added, lend to this scrumptious meal that we were served as a Toastmasters meeting today. So hats off to everyone, every role taker. Hats off to those who put the meeting together for delivering such a fine product at the end of the day. On to our grammarian. Ian, the grammarian, I thought your word choice was very unique. Isom is certainly a word that I will always use because I think I'm quite isom, if you don't think so yourself. But in all honesty, it was a word that we could all use and apply throughout the course of this meeting. So good choice of word. I especially liked your energy that you introduced the grammarian segment with. I thought that was a great boost to the overall meeting and helped us to continue on a high pace. To our timer, Geoffrey, you did very well in conveying the timing for each segment of the meetings when you talked about the time specificity for evaluations, table topics, and prepared speeches. I thought you did well with that. What I want to encourage you to do is, as you talk about the times and with showing the green at 1 minute, show the green card, show the yellow, show the red, so we can know what you're working with. My encouragement to you and anyone else serving as a timer is to not use the share screen. Understand that when you share your screen, you disrupt the platform, and you can be distracting to the speaker at the time. So if possible, use the virtual background with the colors, or if you have to use an apparatus to show, well, this would be my green, this would be my red, and another color, so that they would know, but use any kind of tool or device that will not interrupt the flow of the meeting. Likewise, too, with our grammarian, I know you were excited about persons using your word, but the moments that you would have shared your screen was a bit inappropriate, and it kind of was distracting to myself as a viewer. So I encourage you you did a good job in placing it in the chat, but I encourage you to do it on breaks or ask the Toastmaster of the day to remind persons of what the word of the day is. To our table topics master, 1 second, please. To our table topics master, I thoroughly enjoyed and loved your table topics session. I thought your table topics questions were right on point with the theme of the meeting, talking about dreams. Job well done. I felt that you managed your time well also. I just want to give some feedback to our table topics respondents. Toastmaster Latoya, I thought you got off to a great start with responding to the question that you were asked. You started to develop your response, but you stopped abruptly. Like our timer said, you had much more time that you could have utilized. I'm not sure what would have happened to cause you to stop abruptly, but remember, an opening, a body, and a conclusion, a mini speech as much as possible, and go until you see green. And then if you have no more, then stop, but at least go until green. Jackie, well done in your response. I love the rhetorical questions that you asked along the way. So great job with that. Andrew, I thought by far your response was amazing. I loved your response. I would have noted your R's and M's in the R counters report. I especially loved when you asked, am I a dreamer? And you said, yes, I am. Are you a dreamer? And you replied, you better be. I totally love that. Miriam, I thought you did well also with your opening, your body, and your conclusion of your presentation. Job well done. Linda, you were off to a great start. Your connection derailed you, but you were off to a great start. I can tell that you were quick-witted and can develop a storyline quite quickly. Monica, you conveyed a clear message and thoughts throughout your table topics response. A job well done. So hats off to all of our table topics respondents. Again, back to having a tech coordinator. When we're doing evaluation, and those of you who would have had meetings in person, you know that the evaluator gets to look directly at the speaker. So there's a communication going on. I felt we lost an opportunity to communicate evaluator to speaker because we did not have the evaluator with the speaker spotlighted. So we want to spotlight the evaluator and the speaker so they're side by side as if though there's a dialogue and conversation going on. So speakers, I encourage you that whenever you speak, ensure that your camera is on, just in case the tech coordinator or zone master would spotlight you to be alongside your evaluator. To our evaluators, I thought you did a thorough job in doing your evaluations. The time would have noted that you all exceeded your time limit. And I encourage you to work within time. Remember, there's two parts to an evaluation. There's the oral evaluation, and then there's the written evaluation. In the written evaluation, you get to say all that you want to say to that Toastmaster, that presenter. In the oral, you give a synopsis of that presentation that will help bring that person back to this platform once again. And then the written one just gives them a little bit more meat to back up what you would have said. Sarah, I thought you did well. I liked how you went through the different parts. I felt as if you could have cut back on the things that you liked about it, and even the recommendations. If you give 2 likes, 1 recommendation, that will give you enough within the oral to be within time. And then again, I said put the rest in the written. The one thing I want to encourage all of our evaluators to remember, you have to give a conclusion. You have to summarize. If you are in an evaluation contest, the summarization of your evaluation is important. After you would have said what you liked, give the recommendation, and another thing that you like, you go back over and talk about the recommendations, and close out with the like, summarizing what you would have said. That carries a good percentage of the points in an evaluation contest. So please remember to do that. Overall, great job, evaluators. I thought you gave good feedback to our participants to grow from. So just remember to break it up just enough in the verbal, the rest in the written, so that it could be, you could be well within time. Last but not least, our hack master. Even though you got in late, you listened attentively. You showed us that we weren't listening that attentively, even though we enjoyed the meeting. A lot of the stuff passed over our heads, but I was there, oh, I should know this. However, I missed it. So great job. I love the role of the hack master or hack master. I love that role because it will cause you to think and pay attention, to pull out a little snippets of what each speaker is saying. So I think we kind of missed what that role would entail because you weren't able to get in at the beginning of the meeting to share what that role is all about. But great job. Overall, I thought that the meeting ran well with a few exceptions of the recommendation. And I certainly look forward to coming back again. Again, the right ingredients were put into place and everyone came together to put together a scrumptious Toastmasters meal. Thank you all for your participation. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as your general evaluator. And yes, I'm long-winded. So the short of the story of Dr. Garcia. So my first name, Derek, last name, Roll, and I just used Dr. Garcia to create a email address. And everyone thought it was Dr. Garcia. So persons keep calling me Doc or Dr. Garcia. So the D is for Derek, the R is for Roll, and then it's just Garcia in the middle because Roll is a very popular name and Derek is even more popular. So there are many Derek Rolls in the Bahamas. So I must use the Garcia to separate myself from the rest of the Derek Rolls in this Bahama land. Thank you very much again. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Derek. Please allow me to call you doctor because I think it sounds quite good. So
yes, you're more than welcome to call me doctor.
Garcia, thank you. Toastmasters and guests, as we come to the close of our meeting, our theme was dream it, wish it, do it. We talked about the dream it. We talked about the wish it. You dream it, wish it, visualize it, put it in a board or note it down somewhere. Then we get to do it. When you get to do it, write down the steps you're going to take to achieve your dream. Give them timelines. And please remember, if someone did it in 6 months, it will not also take you 6 months because there are other things, other factors in the environment affecting you. Do it at your pace, fast or slow. The choice is yours. You will fail. Believe me, you will fail at some point in time. Pick yourself up. And failure is an opportunity for you to grow. As you do it, I request that you get board members. In our mentorship group, we call them board members, your friends, people who will give you feedback as it is without sweet coating it, but people who will push you to your dream. One of the table topics masters talked about getting someone who is like-minded. Get people who will give you feedback, people in your, because it's now your company, your dream company, your dream, call it a company. Get board members, people who will work with you, your accountable persons. And like it was one of the speakers told us that she wants Grace. She wants to own a consultancy company. When you registered your company, did you celebrate that win? The small things keep you going. You're doing it, celebrate, yay! One of my other dreams, I'll share with you, is to lose 15 kilograms. When I wake up in the morning and step out of my home, yay, I've done it. But there are times I wish it would rain in the morning, so I don't go. But when I'm actually on the road and I'm back home, even if I took 1,000 steps, I celebrate that. Don't be too hard on yourself. The fear is real, but we can do it. Let's dream it, let's wish it, let us do it. The sky is the limit. And Brian Tracy said, to earn more, you need to learn more. On this journey, learn on the journey of dreaming and achieving. Let's learn more. Learning never ends. Toastmasters and guests, I have had an awesome meeting. I want to thank the role takers. I want to thank each and everyone who's made this meeting possible. Wilson, our division director, was picked on as an evaluator in a flash, and he took it on. To all the role takers, thank you so much. Let's dream it. Let's wish it. Let's do it. Back to you, our acting president, Wilson Asimwe. Hello, Wilson. I think Wilson has dropped. Wilson has dropped off. Let's give him maybe a few minutes for him to come and announce our winners that were shared directly with him. But in the meantime, thank you all for attending our meeting. It has been a pleasure and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Let's see, is Elizabeth back? Oh, it's not yet back. Right, as we wait for Wilson to maybe, I can take it upon myself now to be the acting or the presiding officer for this meeting. And I want to thank everyone. We will share the winners on the chats, maybe the role takers chats, on the main chats, just so that we can close within time. At this opportunity, if we have a guest who maybe did not get a chance to let us know how they found out about Toastmasters, have they enjoyed their meeting? Any feedback is welcome. Do we have a guest who maybe did not share with us any feedback? Anyone who wants to have some feedback for us? Anyone who did not get a chance to speak? Okay. So our Toastmasters and guests, if there is no one with any feedback, I now announce the meeting is closed. We can stay on to network and chat.
Once again,
Let's network,
great meeting.
let's unmute. Thank you all.
Great meeting. I really enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed our speakers today. I thought they did very well, especially our icebreaker speeches. You know, I would have came into this meeting on the tail end as they would have started, and then heard that it were icebreaker speeches, but thinking that this is their fifth path they're on, and they're introducing themselves for the fifth time to us. So they're professional Toastmasters just doing it again, not new Toastmasters doing it for the very first time. What an amazing job, ladies.
Yes, great job, great job. Thank you all for attending the meeting. Okay, I think Wilson has failed to log in to come back on, but thank you all, and you may leave at leisure. Have a great evening, and
So
see
Susan,
you.
I have one question for you. Where does Curly Sue come from?
There's a movie I watched when I was 11. Actually, the title of the movie is Curly Sue. So I went to high school, and in my class were 6 Susans. So we had, our friends kept telling us, find something. And at that point in time, I was a bit shy to say Curly Sue. So when I got an email piece, so I'm referred to as Susan Claire or Sue Claire, but my email, I thought, yeah, Curly Sue could come in here. She was a very interesting little girl. Yeah.
All right.
So that's
I'm familiar with that movie, so now I understand.
Yeah. I love that movie. Watch it over and over.
I said I saved your contact as Curly Sue. And I said, hold on. It says Susan Amoding. Then okay, yes.
And since I have a C name, I was like, yeah, I think it should fit. Yeah.
Yes. All right, great.
All right.
Okay, so take
people.
care, everyone.
Take care and have a good evening. I'll log off now. Thanks and have a good night. Bye. Bye.